Welcome back to the Consistency Corner podcast. I'm excited to have you here for this episode where we're going on a road trip. And I want to talk about when we're going on a road trip, determining how much gas that we have in the car and whether or not we have enough to get where we actually want to go and how that applies to your marketing strategy. First of all, I will say I am the type of person who lets my gas gauge get down to like almost empty. My car gives me the little you have 29 miles till empty, and I'm going to push it till 31 miles. I hate to get gas. I don't know why that is. And I actually this was like 2019. So I was a fairly new mom, toddler mom. I had joined a group in my area called the Sarasota Moms blog. I was a contributing writer for the Sarasota Moms blog. And one of the cool things about being a member is sometimes different local businesses would let us try things out as kind of community influencers and to be able to talk about things. And so there was this business that they would fill up your gas tank. Like they would come to you to fill up your gas tank. And there was a little app that you could order and have them come out, or they even had like a tracking device where they could kind of track your miles and know when you were going to be close to needing a fill. And typically I would just call them to come fill me up while I was at work. I'd be sitting at my desk and out would come the little truck and he'd fill up my gas and I would go about my day and I never had to stop at the gas station. And it was amazing. I loved it. I got it for free. I got the service for free, but I would have paid for it for sure. Well, then pandemic hit. People stopped driving because a lot of people stopped going to the office. Their demand completely dropped and they closed the business. I'm still to this day, 6 years later, sad they don't do it anymore because I loved that service. But the reason I tell that story is because it is important when you're going to go somewhere in your car to make sure you have enough gas in the tank to get there, or make sure you plan stops at the gas station to fill up so that you don't run out on the side of the road. And marketing your business is very similar in that you've got to make sure you have enough energy to carry out the marketing plan that you've mapped out to get you to where you're trying to go. I have this whole analogy about how marketing is like a road trip and your business goals are ultimately your destination. And your campaign calendar is when in the year you're making this road trip. Your brand and who you are and what your offers are and the audience that you serve, that's the starting point. That's where we're starting from. And then the channels that we use and the content that we create are the roads and the vehicles that we use to get there. And then our metrics that check in into how we're doing and our capacity to be consistent is like the road trip snacks and the playlist to make it fun along the way, along with the checkpoints of whether or not we're on the right track. So when we think about that and whether or not we're on the right track, and if we have the capacity and the energy to actually get there, it's do I have enough gas in the tank to go from point A to point B? And if I don't, what could happen? Well, if we're driving, we could be stranded on the side of the road, or we could need to take a detour to go to the gas station to actually fill up. If we are flying because we want to get there faster, we could have a major emergency and crash if we run out of fuel, crash and burn if we run out of fuel, or we might have a bigger detour where we have to land to refill. And so when we're mapping out the channels that we're going to use to market our business and the content that we're going to create and the intensity that we are going to do those things, we have to look at our own capacity. Every single marketing tactic works. Every single one. And every single one takes time, money, energy. And so we got to know, do we have enough time, money, energy to do this thing and see it through to the finish line? And if we don't, maybe we need to pick a different route. Maybe we need to pick a different vehicle. Maybe we need to figure out how to give ourselves more time, more energy, more money to do the things that we're wanting to do. And so it's not a problem of not knowing what to do. It's discerning whether or not you have the energy and the capacity to do the thing. Capacity is a strategic input, and it's a strategic input whether you are a solopreneur or you have a team, because your team also has capacity that has to be planned for. And that's one of the things that when I listen to marketing experts talk, I get super frustrated about because it's like nobody wants to acknowledge that capacity is a real constraint on whether or not a strategy can work. Because sometimes a strategy won't work until we've tested a lot of things and we don't have the time and energy to do testing. And so it feels like, oh, that just didn't work and I'm a failure. And why did I even think that would work? And I don't know, I don't even want to do this anymore. Or it can be that there's a high setup cost or setup window to actually get the ball rolling. You know, it's like we're pumping the well and it's not coming out yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, but we're so close. And if we stop because we run out of energy, we run out of gas, we're never gonna. So your capacity or the gas in the tank can be influenced by so many things. It can be influenced by your health. It can be influenced by what's going on in your life because running a business isn't the only thing you're doing. You're not an entrepreneur robot. You're also a mom. You're also a wife. You're also a friend. You're also a human in 2026 in the United States where it feels like the world is on fire most of the time. And all of those things impact your capacity. And then there's also the idea of accountability that sometimes we need a buddy to go along with us on the road trip to help keep us going, to help get us through that final stretch, to turn up the volume on the Kesha song or the NSYNC album that's going to just power us through to get to that finish line. And those are things that are not going to show up in the dashboard. Those are the things that the latest marketing trend report isn't going to talk about. But those things are all real, just like your capacity is real. And so we have to think about it. We have to think about what is my capacity? How can I increase it? Whether that's delegating something, getting something off of my plate, stopping something else, taking care of myself differently so that I have the energy and the mental bandwidth to actually work through this thing and see it to the end. And it's acknowledging that it's okay to sometimes ask for help. Whether that help is in your business or outside of your business, it is okay to say, I don't have the bandwidth to do this right now, or I don't have the bandwidth to do everything I want to do right now. So I am going to ask for help. So all of that to say, I want you to think about as you make decisions this quarter, thinking about next quarter, thinking about the rest of 2026, what is your capacity? Do you have the capacity to do the things that you want to do? And be honest with yourself. And if you don't, before we pick the tactic, the strategy, the channel, the content plan, that we take a step back and make a plan to protect and honor and increase our own capacity so that we can have realistic plans that actually get executed, because a plan in a Google Doc doesn't ever get you anywhere. And believe me, I am the queen of putting a strategy in a Google Doc. I can write strategies in Google Docs all day long. I can write a to-do list with the best of them. Man, I am good at writing a to-do list. But if I don't actually do the things on the to-do list, writing a to-do list doesn't get me anywhere other than the fact that I spent 30 minutes writing a to-do list, right? So I see you, friend. I see you with all the ideas. I see you with all the things that you are holding and balancing. And I just want you to know that I know the mental load of marketing is real and it's heavy. And sometimes we just need the permission to put it down or put something else down, or we need to make sure that we are asking for help in holding something. If this resonated with you and you want to have more conversations about capacity or even what marketing looks like for a mom founder, I invite you to our next marketing mixer on February 19th. It's a virtual networking space for mom founders where we talk a little bit about marketing strategy, but we also talk about being a human who's running a business and doing a lot of other things. And it's a fun, curated networking space that allows you to connect and collaborate with people who get it and learn a little bit. And networking is a form of marketing. So I hope you come. It's free. You can go to theconsistencycorner.com/mixer to register and save your seat. That is also linked in the show notes. And I will see you there. I'll see you in the next episode. And I definitely hope to see you on February 19th inside the Marketing Mixer.